There we go.
Yeah, okay.
Go live.
So we may have another awkward start this week here at Golden Acre Quilting, but we will figure all that out. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Our amazing community just keeps showing up and blowing my mind with all of the beautiful things that you do in and around what has become this quilting community. Tonight we have Sharon Miller-Dombroski here from Creative Solutions for Nonprofit. We're going to talk more with Sharon after some quick reminders. Please remember to like our videos, subscribe to our channel. It's a free way that you can support us. And also share these video links with folks who are farther away. We just got a call today from someone in Pennsylvania who had received a link from someone in the community and really enjoyed the 10-minute table runner tutorial and wanted the fabric that we had used in the tutorial. Yay, community. Keep up the good work. So keep sending those links out and sharing with folks who might enjoy what we do here. And our question for tonight, we always have a question every week that we ask. People answer the question and they get an entry into the drawing. This week, the drawing is for a scrappy bound pot holder. So this is, we're going to work with scrap register tape binding technique tonight. The question for you to answer in the chat tonight is, what is your favorite kind of fabric project? And I was going to say sewing project, but then I remembered how many people I've met in the last couple of weeks who use fabric on cards, who use fabric in art. They don't actually sew it together. They put it onto beautiful landscapes that they make that doesn't involve needle and thread. So what is your favorite kind of fabric-related project? Pop that in the chat while we're going tonight. And Belinda's in the background keeping track of all the names and putting them into Wheel of Names so we can do that drawing at the end of the show. So keep those chats rolling. And if we have questions or things come up while we're talking with Sharon, let us know and we'll answer this. Hi, Mom.
Oh, not my mother. Hi, Louise's
Is your mom watching too?
No.
All right. So Sharon and I have sort of circled around each other without knowing it for years. Mm-hmm. Our children went to the same school and we didn't know it at the time. But then last year, when I joined a business networking group, BNI, I met Sharon and we had a one-to-one and started talking and found out all the ways that our lives had intertwined up until that moment. And Sharon is the principal owner at Creative Solutions for Nonprofits, which is in White River Junction, based in White River Junction, but works all over New England. And have you gone wider than New England yet?
Not quite.
All right. We're focused on New England. Okay. Yes. And Creative Solutions thing is that they help good people do great work. And that is the foundation of what they do. They work with nonprofit organizations to help them get the resources they need to do the work that they do out in the world. Last November, we worked with Sharon and her crew to do our Wags and Wiggles campaign. And we would like to have another campaign this year with a different organization just to spread the love that is Golden Acre Quilting. So we have Sharon on tonight to give us some category ideas about where we can focus what we do for that social responsibility program. And then we're going to put out a survey to our community to have you tell us within those categories where you'd like to focus your efforts this fall. And,
That doesn't happen very often.
first day with a new tongue, I think. Yeah, I'll
You're
I'll
doing
get
fine.
it installed and then we'll move forward.
I just didn't catch that vibe from
Right?
brain to
No,
brain.
I
So.
know. We'll have to work on that connection.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to you and
Okay.
let you tell us about some of the opportunities we have categorically to do good work in the world.
Sure. So first I want to say thank you for having me
Our
and
pleasure.
your crew here. And I am not a quilter or sewer. I am a scrapbooker. But I just love coming here, and I spent the last hour just gazing around at all the wonderful things to look at. And I just love Louisa's energy. And there's no doubt in my mind why you're all a part of this community, because it's such a great place to be. I feel like my blood pressure comes down when I walk in the shop and my creative juices get flowing. So kudos to you and your community.
Thank you.
So like Louisa said, I work with nonprofit organizations. At Creative Solutions, we like to say we help good people do great work. And often that means that to deliver on a nonprofit's mission, they need money. We do all kinds of other things like recruiting staff, coaching and mentoring. We do strategic planning. We help organizations if they're thinking about trying something new, delivering a new service. But today we're here to talk about what programs in the Claremont area that are nonprofits that you all might be interested in supporting through a corporate social responsibility project and Giving Tuesday, which happens in late November. So the three categories of nonprofits that we came up with are child and family services. There are a lot of families in need in the Claremont area and in the surrounding towns.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one category. The second category that we talked about is violence prevention, or services for people that might be surviving or living with a violence. So that's our second category. And then finally, which you probably all could have guessed by now, is food and living with hunger. There's a lot of folks across the nation that are struggling with food insecurity. So that's another area that we will leave it to you to vote and decide which of the Claremont nonprofits that cover those topics would be our beneficiary of a campaign starting now.
So we're looking to look start in September, right when the shop hop starts, September 1st, through Giving Tuesday at the end of November. And we're looking to, raise funds, right? Have some sort of donation process and funnel funds into whatever organization we choose. But also thinking creatively as a community about other resources we can provide. If this is a place that quilts and blankets would be helpful, could we make some of those? I bet we could, right? Or, even if it's not necessarily sewing related, could we use this as a spot where people could bring donations of goods that these organizations need, and then our community come together and get that over to the organization? Just really want to sort of spark the creativity in a direction of supporting an organization that could use the help of our beautiful people.
Right.
And the thing I was trying to say when I decided I needed a new tongue was that if you have ideas of organizations that you're passionate about within the Claremont region and beyond here in New England that you'd like us to specifically reach out to and ask if they would be interested in joining with us. So you'll realize that Sharon's talking about categories, not places, right now here on YouTube, because we didn't want to mention specific names of organizations without knowing if they were ready to work with us. So we want to give them the option to say, oh, that'd be great to work with you, before we just announce that that's what we're doing. So we're going to ask you about those categories, right? Family services, violence and violence prevention, and food insecurity. So those are the three categories that we're going to look for organizations to support. And again, if you have anyone that you'd like us to consider, a nonprofit in the area that you'd like us to consider, please pop that into the chat or email me at louisa@goldenanchorquilting.com, and I'll connect back with Sharon to make sure that we reach out to those places and find out where our community wants to put our love this fall. And the other thing that I think you didn't really managed to touch on when you talked about creative solutions is the work you do with board member hunts, right? Trying to find the right people to be on these nonprofit boards, and the social media campaigns that Christine works on with you, for the beautiful graphics that you guys create to help support these. And we donated a quilt to a raffle through Sharon's inspiration for Cornerstone Community Center.
That's right.
And there's a link to that on our Facebook page, because there's other prizes too. Maybe you don't need the baby quilt, but there's a Cape Air ticket.
Yes, two tickets from Lebanon Airport on Cape Air from Lebanon to Boston, which is a $500 value.
Scoot down to Boston for the weekend and not worry about parking. How awesome is that?
And a front end alignment, and also this beautiful handmade necklace.
Yeah.
So
as a jewelry maker, I definitely appreciated how beautiful that was. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that link is on our Facebook page, and if you're not on our Facebook and you'd like to get engaged with that, you can go to Sharon's website, which is
Creative Solutions for Nonprofits, the letter C, the letter S, the number 4, N, the letter N, the letter P.com. And you're also going there if you happen to look at the raffle for Cornerstone to see the quilts that you donated, which is just so yummy and squishy. I
think it was backed with Minky, right? So we all know Cuddle Minky. It was backed with Minky, and that's why it feels squishy.
Yes, yes. So,
Awesome.
and if everybody gets passionate about, because there's so many more other nonprofits that need our help, and whether it's the sewing community or just people who care about people who do quilting, if you get passionate and you find other things, we can come back and do other kinds of projects to support community. For example, firefighters need stuff, right? Police officers need stuff. So are there things that we can do down the road? So don't panic if we don't.
No, it's not limited to just this moment.
Yes.
We plan to work with you for a long time to come.
She's not going to get rid of me.
I got the privilege of going out to Sharon's lake house or cabin. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful.
Different kind of therapy.
Well, and maybe we need to make you an at the lake quilt. We're going to talk about that later tonight.
Right.
So pop into the chat. Tell us if there's an organization you'd like us to talk about. Remember to answer our raffle question tonight, which is what's your favorite kind of project to do with fabric? And go check out Creative Solutions for Nonprofit. I will try to figure out how to put links with our video. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'll try to figure that out to put a link to Creative Solutions for Nonprofit. And when Sharon says helping good people do great work, we're the good people that she's going to help us do great work, and she's beautiful at it. So thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for your non-quilting time. I will say, if you have an organization or a cause that's important to you, and if you would like a consult with me, or if you want to connect me with a cause that's important to you, I'm always open for a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and a Zoom or a phone call. So thanks, and thank you all for having me.
Thank you so much for
Bye.
being
Have
here.
fun, everyone.
Don't trip on the So even beyond Golden Acre Quilting, Darren and I had an idea for a nonprofit just before we had the opportunity to step in with Golden Acre Quilting. And we met with Sharon and started to build the 501c3 business plan and application. We directed our energy here. We do plan someday to have a nonprofit arm of the shop. And when we do that, she will be our go-to. She's awesome, really. Love for Sharon and all the work that she does. Thank you so much. Drive safe. Okay, so diving back into quilt-related world. Well, not that that's not quilt related, but do we have we have questions and
writing down the things that people like to
okay, so Aunt Helen has been writing down the types of projects that people like to do, which is great because that'll help us inspire classes here at Golden Acre. In the meantime, we did get our Jaftex video posted to our Facebook and also to Scott Fortunoff's Facebook. Hi, Dee. Which is the video contest where we did an introduction to our shop and taught people about the personality of who we are and what we do. And then the video goes out there. We get votes, we get likes, we get shares. The more views of that video we get, the more likely we are to win prizes. There are prizes in that contest for first-time shop entries, which we are one. So we have our own special category that we might be able to win a prize in. And those prizes are going to help us bring more beautiful Jaftex fabrics and resources to the community here. So you can find that video linked on our Facebook page. We pinned it right to the top. It's Facebook and it's Golden Acre Quilting and it's the Jaftex video. The post starts with watch, share, like, watch, like, share, something like that. It's me wearing one of my fun Mexicali blues dresses, welcoming people into the door of Golden Acre Quilting. It's 4 minutes. Your support is much appreciated on that. Take a peek and let's see if we can win something. That video of the shops in August leads into the Scott Sent Me 2024 challenge, which is an opportunity to almost have a global shop hop moment. They have shops from all around the world participating in Scott Sent Me. And what it is you come to the shop, you get a picture of you with the shop, or even better with the shop's owner. Hi, that's me. Get a picture and then you post that to the Scott Sent Me challenge. And then you have entries into prizes they have for the community and the people who use the fabrics that shops like us carry. So there's a pathway to prizes for you in addition to a pathway for prizes for our shop. So please check that video out. We are prepping like crazy people for the all New England Shop Hop starting September 1st. We still have magazines here. So if you haven't got your magazine yet, we do have them. They're $11.95. Lots of patterns, the map of all of the shops that are participating, and all of the beautiful resource information that's in there, even if you're not shop hopping. It's a great magazine to have. On September 1st, when that launches, we have Rick Edmiston here from Absolute Edge doing his mobile sharpening magic. You can bring your scissors or your pinking shears with you to that first day of the shop hop and get them sharpened while you shop. He just charges $10 a pair. He revived a pair of pinking shears from my grandmother who probably cut corrugated cardboard with them. So, if he can get those revived and working again, we have all the faith in the world he can get yours working again too. We are going to be closed on Labor Day, that Monday. It's our normal closed day, and we decided launching into 2 months of shop hop madness, we should probably just take the day and sit down for a minute. So we'll be open Saturday and Sunday that weekend, but not open on Monday of Labor Day. We are going to have some fun stuff going on here during the shop hop. We're going to hide some laminated anchors in bolts around the shop. When you come to get your fabric cut, if one of those little golden anchors falls out while we're unwrapping your bolt, you get 10% off that cut. And we're going to have turtles hidden around the shop. If you find a turtle, you get to pick from our giveaway basket, which we are filling up with really fun little things that you can enjoy. And we're going to have a raffle going on that you can only enter by coming to visit us. And we are going to be donating one of the regional prizes, a $300 gift basket filled with quilty goodies. So, all New England Shop Hop, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be crazy, but it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see the shop busting at the seams. Any questions or comments we should address while we're here?
No, there's been comments about your panels.
Oh, we're going to talk about the panels.
I know those were
Yeah,
mentioned.
don't you worry. Don't you worry. We're going to talk about those. Actually, we could talk about those now and then talk about classes. So this line came to us. It's called Autumn Retreat. It sort of has two colorways in it. The blue and kind of water. This is called At the Lake. And this is In the Cabin. And these panels build into quilts. We have kits for both panels that use these fabrics over here. Those sort of, I was about to say autumnal again. Last week I said autumnal, and then I got off the show and I went, who says autumnal? So we have these fall colors. I know, I say autumnal. Me and my big words. So we have the fall colors and then those sort of late colors that go with it, the trees that go with both. There's a beautiful pine print. It's a wonderful line. It just got checked in and we just got the kits cut, and we had a sample sewer pick up this one today. So that sample will be back in the shop shortly. We're still looking for a sample sewer to put this panel into a quilt. So if this looks like something you'd like to play with, come let us know. And we had a couple other lines arrive this week, but we wanted to spread the love and share those next week. So we're going to have some new lines to share with you next week as well. Classes. We have so many wonderful things coming up, and some of them are posted and some of them are still just in the design phase. But this week, Wednesday and Saturday, we have our Never Give Up days. That's where you take the projects from the back of the closet that you put in timeout because they frustrated you or they were boring or you couldn't figure out the next step, and it's been there for goodness knows how long. We're going to pull those out, dust them off, sit together, eat some light refreshments, and socially support each other in finishing up those projects, or at least making progress in honor of Never Give Up Day. So that's this Wednesday and this Saturday. And that's $15, and it includes the light refreshments and sewing all day with us. On Friday this week, we have a surgical recovery pillow or post-op recovery pillow. It's a pillow that kind of wraps around the chest and abdomen and has little wings that they can hold with their arms to brace for when they're coughing or sneezing or when they need ice packs on their surgical site. There's a little pocket in it. And if you know someone who's going to have surgery, you can certainly come and make one for that particular person. Or if you'd like, we have a channel for donating those to some of the area hospitals to share with their post-operative patients so that they have something more beautiful and made with love than those plastic hospital pillows that hurt to hold against you after abdominal or chest surgery. The pillows that we have for this project also create sort of a seatbelt cushion when they're in the car, so they're multi-purpose, multifunction, easy to make. And so easy to make, I forgot to make the sample, but we're going to have that ready for Friday. And that is Friday. We have our all-inclusive Learn to Quilt series. All right. I'm assuming that most of the people watching us here live are already quilters. That might not be a fair assumption to make, but maybe you know someone who has said, oh, I just wish I could do what you do. What you do is so beautiful, but I could never be a quilter. Well, I want to tell you, I have brought some people from never using a sewing machine to making beautiful quilts in this 6-week series already in the 3 times that we've run this series. This is our 4th time running this series. And what we do with All-Inclusive Learn to Quilt is we start with, this is your sewing machine. This is how to troubleshoot your sewing machine. This is some basics, how to change the needle, what the presser feet are, what they do. And then we learn a consistent 1/4 inch seam. We work on rotary cutting skills. We talk about color theory, fabric selection, how to mix in light, medium, dark, small, medium, large. We pick our fabric together and we make the picnic basket quilt from the Sassy Sunflower half pack quilt kit. We get the tops assembled by week 5, and then we have a week gap before we meet again, when it's Darren's job to get all of those quilts for our students long-armed and ready to be trimmed and bound. In the last week of the class, you learn how to trim your quilt, bind your quilt, and you walk away from the All-Inclusive Learn to Quilt with a completed quilt and all of the skills that you need to get rocking and rolling on your quilting career. So if there's someone in your life who you would absolutely love to introduce to the art of quilting, let them know that August 30th, we're starting another round of this. It's going to be a weeknight class, 5:30 to 8:30 on Friday evenings. We figured that would give people a chance who work during the day to come play with us, but also give us a chance to really focus on that class when the shop isn't open during the shop hop. So 5:30 to 8:30 starting on Friday, August 30th, that all-inclusive Learn to Quilt. And if someone has a friend that they want to register with, we're offering a 10% discount for both of them registering for that all-inclusive Learn to Quilt class. Jean Corliss is rocking and rolling with sewing machine repair, and we are so excited to see these machines getting cleaned and serviced and out the door and back to their happy sewing studios. But she is also managing to run another round of our beach house quilt. I don't know if you folks saw the beach house quilt when they did it before. We'll put a post up on Facebook and maybe see if we can get an image into Facebook. Well, hold on, Belinda. You can toss it to me when I'm ready. We've got the quilt of the week coming in through the door. We just don't want to knock the iPad over again because we're trying to start a new streak where we don't knock the iPad over. So the beach house quilt is paper pieced. It has some curved flying geese, which sounds terrifying, but Jean is fabulous at making them not terrifying. She's been working on picking out some beautiful batik colors to build kits for this quilt. And we're going to have the class running Friday, October 11th, Friday, November 1st, and Friday, November 22nd. And that class includes a discount on your long arming services, as well as the pattern and all of the instruction for those 3 days. The kits, we haven't quite narrowed down all of the final color selections, but we'll let you know when those are ready to look at and check out. We'll probably bring them on the show when we've got them ready. And then reminder that every Tuesday is Open Sew Tuesday. Come, play, sit, work on what you want to work on, talk to other quilters, get help and advice from the other people in the classroom. It's a fun day. And then let's talk about 12 months of gifts first. So 12 months of gifts is a monthly recurring class that we have throughout the year, where we have a project that's supposed to take about 2 to 3 hours, and you leave with a finished giftable item and the skills to make more of those to give to folks throughout the year. Christmas is coming, Hanukkah is coming, all those holidays where we like to give things to people, they're coming. So we're going to keep going with our 12 months of gifts, even though we've got the shop hop running in September and October. And this September, it's September 12th. At 10:30 and 4:30, there are 2 sessions of that class, and we are going to make a fun and simple wallet that you could give, more like a clutch kind of thing. It's going to be a little bit of a redesign from the one we shared last week. We've got some inspiration to add pockets and make it even more functional. So that's what we're going to do with 12 months of gifts. And the not quilting, but super fun and beautiful, that we are going to have September 4th, September 7th, September 4th at 11 and 5:30, and September 7th at 11 is this yumminess. They are called I'll try to hold still so when you zoom it actually goes into this. These are artist trading cards. I had the pleasure of meeting Mary and her daughter when they wanted to learn how to make a pillowcase. Yeah. So artist trading cards are something I didn't know about before. Mary came in looking for some scrap fabric that she uses to put things like little snippets on these artist trading cards. Okay. And and they are made with thread and fabric and paper and glitter and stickers and buttons and all kinds of little embellishment things. And the way this process works is one person starts with 3 cards, they put some embellishments on the card, and then they send it to the next person with their name and information and what they added to the card on the back of the card. The second person just adds a little more, which is why Mary's group is called Jam Your Hearts Out. Just add more. I thought that was quite sweet and wonderful. And then they send those 3 cards to a third person who adds another set of embellishments. And then one comes back to person number 2 and one comes back to person number 1 and person number 3 keeps one. And then all 3 of you have these beautiful cards and people keep them in notebooks, like almost like a baseball trading card kind of notebook, but with all of these beautiful bits of art. And when you send a card out, you think you know what you started and what you were planning for the card to look like, but then those other artists add their touch to the cards, and when they come back to you, sometimes they're quite different, but still really beautiful. So Mary is going to teach 3 of these workshops for us, where you'll get to make your own starter set of artist trading cards and have the opportunity to learn about her community, which is global and spread across the world, where they send these cards to each other and keep each other engaged in their artistic community. So that's the Jam Your Hearts Out workshop. We are going to run them from 11 to 1, 5:30 to 7:30 on that September 4th, and 11 to 1 again on September 7th. And the class is also going to include lunch so that we add another social piece to that Jam Your Hearts Out and enjoy that. So I'm so excited that Mary agreed to teach that for us, because I think it's a really beautiful way to incorporate fabric, paper, thread, and some of us are also scrapbookers, so maybe we have a stash of those papers in our craft room. No, just me? No? Okay, all right, there's some other people. Okay, good. So those are our upcoming classes. And we're working to add more. We are still looking for guest instructors for September and October so that we can keep the class calendar full and also keep the front of the shop sane during the shop hop. So if you have one of those things that you've made hundreds of and you know how to make it in your sleep and you want to come share that with our community, give us a shout, let us know. We'll look for a date, we'll get it on the calendar, and get people in our classroom enjoying creativity. Any questions or comments we should talk about?
18 Saturdays to Christmas.
Oh my goodness, who put that in there?
Donna!
Donna is always reminding us how little time there is before the next thing, right? Thank you, Donna. So 18 Saturdays till Christmas. So 12 months of gifts. Anybody? No? And my mom did start sewing her jelly rolls together for the quilted jacket that she's going to work on teaching for us. So that project has started. And Donna, I'm going to throw you right here, right under the bus. Donna is working on an embroidered jean jacket class for us, as well as embroidered postcards and a wrap skirt, which is really cool. It's reversible and beautiful and flowy and fun. And we're going to get that sample made up, and then maybe I'll wear it on the show. Not that you can see. I have crazy pants again. I don't know if you can see my crazy pants. Crazy pants. They got little flowers. Fun. But we're going to have some skirts to share with you too. All right. Reminder that the Ambassador program is being launched. We're looking for volunteers who will then get to enjoy discounts on purchases and long arm services, class registrations, and sewing machine repair. We still have quite a few things that we're looking for. I'll try to get that out in the newsletter this week. We had 3 people come in this week and step into that ambassador space and offer their assistance, one of whom decorated for us tonight with this beautiful line of fabric. Thank you, Geneva. We've got someone tackling the fat quarter table and a couple more sample sewers. So that's exciting. And I think that's it for news, and that we are ready to do this quick little demo. So, Papa, we may need to do some camera changes here. Because when I sit, I bet I almost disappear from where that camera is. All right. So, I don't know if anybody else, are we here? Yeah. So, I don't know if anybody else has a pile of scraps in their sewing studio or right, craftsmate. No, nobody has scraps, right? So I'm always looking for ways that we can use those scraps and sort of give them new life, because it seems painful to throw these away. They're still beautiful fabric and wonderful. So what I came up with this week, which I was inspired by a post on Pinterest, is register tape scrappy binding. And this is the pot holder bound in that scrappy binding. And all I did to make this was sort of dive into our bucket of scraps, pull out a handful, throw it on the table, and start pulling little pieces out of it and pressing them so that I had these little strips, all random widths, random sizes. Some of them I cut with scissors. I didn't even bother to get the rotary cutter out. Very, very freeing, if you will, to kind of play with whatever was there. And then the register tape is what helps keep your scrappy binding straight. It's interesting because of the heat transfer. When you press, you get some very interesting markings on the back of the register paper, but it tears out much like paper piecing paper does when you're ready to use it. And this is kind of started for us so that we can see what it looks like when you've got some on. And I've seen all kinds of ways they do this. So some people do it straight like this, where they're just sewing across and they lay the next piece on here, sew across, flip it, press it, sew the next piece on, wash, rinse, repeat to get as much binding as you need to bind a project. Other folks are using irregular shapes, and they are putting this on here and flipping that, and then putting the next piece on here and flipping that, and then putting a piece across this way and flipping to get a much more geometric and funky scrap binding. I figured for the sake of time and demonstrability, we're gonna have to work on that pronunciation, that we would just do some straight options. Are we here? Okay, perfect. I've got the iron warmed up, so I'm just going to repress that because it went a little rogue. And I used my open toe foot clear in the front. Some machines call it a J, some machines call it an A, but it's just so that I could see where I was sewing.
I think it's unthreaded.
It is, yeah, sure is. It's never all just smooth. So I'll get this threaded again and then we'll get going. In the meantime, are there any questions or comments we should look at?
No.
What are we finding out? Ellen, you want to tell us some of those categories that people have shared with us?
Sure.
Okay.
Paper piecing quilts.
Okay.
You can probably guess the sources of some of these.
Was that Miss Jean?
And quilting clothing,
Okay.
which Dee also is very excited about.
About the vest.
And
Oh,
then,
we did get some really exciting news today from one of our community connections who's helping us with a redo of the logo, but also found out that he knows how to set us up for really smooth virtual class platforms. So maybe we'll be able to share those classes longer distance sometime soon. Applique table toppers. Okay. So
Small projects like placemats and plot holders.
small projects, placemats, and plot holders. I'm repeating you because when I watched the playback last week, we couldn't hear you. It was just my responses. So we
That's fine.
maybe need another mic or something.
Embroidery.
Yeah, machine or hand? Did they specify?
It said embroidery.
Just said
but
embroidery?
I was thinking about that beautiful embroidered quilt that you have the sample for.
Beautiful embroidery. Oh, the handwork that Angeline did for us. Yes, that we want to do a block of the month.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have that on next week and show people and see if there's interest in that.
Yeah.
Help me remember.
And then Donna likes combining embroidery and sewing.
Yes, that's not a surprise. I guess Mary's not watching tonight, because if Mary was watching tonight, she'd be telling us about how she likes to put fabric snippets on her artist trading cards.
I can see here.
All right, so that's the concept. You just keep going and you travel along your paper until you have enough. And I sort of had this bit of scrap. Hey, Papa, can we switch over to 2 again?
It is.
Oh, okay, thanks. Or maybe 3. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I wanted to show you that even within pieces like this that you may have cut off, you can still get pieces that you can use in your scrap binding, right? I can just snip off there, and then I've got a piece that I can throw in here. So it's not that you need to just look for strip pieces in your scraps. It can be where you cut something round out of the middle of a piece of fabric, or strip pieces. We could stitch that on there. How fun would that be? Just lots of ways that you can make this more interesting. And then once you've got your binding as long as you need it, you're gonna shift from your pressing station to your cutting station, and then when you flip this over, you'll be able to see all of that fabulous scorch mark from the heat transfer. And you take your ruler and your rotary cutter, which I know I brought one in here. Oh, it's over there. I brought it in here. I just didn't get it close enough for me to be able to reach it. Thank you. Safety first, handle first. Yep. And you just trim up the side there of the paper. And then you have the one side ready. Whoop. Got a little. And then whatever width you like to use for binding. I've been really enjoying 2.5 inch binding lately, and the freedom it gives me to wrap around thicker things. We did that folded pot holder, and the folded pot holder was so thick. So if we were going to do a 2.5, we'd line up the 2.5 mark on our ruler and just trim down this other side. And I could do that here. We'll find something to do with this little strip of wonderfulness. And then we go from that messy edge scrappy binding to a clean edge scrappy binding. We're ready to flip this over and tear those papers out. This is something you could do while you're sitting on the couch watching something. Get your paper pieces out. If you take a Q-tip with a little bit of water on the tip of it and run it across where the seam is, some of the papers will tear out more easily. And if you do this, if you stitch it with Invisafill or Decobob, which are 80 and 100 weight threads, you could decrease your stitch length. That would make it easier to tear out your paper pieces. That doesn't just work here, it also works in paper piecing projects. You keep going, and once all of that paper is out, you can flip that, do your right sides together, and that should look familiar as a binding to be able to get ready and put that onto whatever project you want to put it on. And you could use this technique where it's totally scrappy, where you're just digging in the scrap bin and throwing whatever on there to put on something like a pot holder, like we did for the sample, or as you're building a specific project. If you want a scrappy binding, you can have just the scraps from that project, and your binding is still scrappy, but it's coordinated with your project. And I had quite a few laughs and giggles as different fabrics landed next to each other. You know, we've got some purple lunar moths next to some green and red Christmas fabric in this scrappy bit. There's some Tula Pink Roar in here, I think, that almost made it in. You know, a little bit of T-Rex in your scrappy binding. So much fun to be had with scraps. And the register tape is something you can get on Amazon or at Staples or a local office supply store. And you just start sewing. And it's one of those you don't have to think projects. So it's a good place to let your brain rest sometimes. And I think that's all we had for tonight. We got the quilt of the week. And can I ask a quick question? Is that the same person as last week?
No. Nope.
You're sure?
No.
Because I'd like to spread the love. Although that is a beautiful quilt. Does the yeah? Let me see. Let me peek at the work order. Yeah. So her quilt won quilt of the week last week. So if we could, yes.
Well, the one that I want, I can't lift.
Oh, okay. So get Papa to lift the one you want to lift. And while they are looking for the quilt of the week, Aunt Ellen, would you grab the bucket of cash and check purchases? I forgot to bring that back for our drawing there. Okay. Oh, this one has a really cool story. That's a good one. That's a good one. Awesome. Okay. So I am definitely, even with the stool, not tall enough to show this, but I'll try to give you a peek at it. This is, okay. So this beautiful quilt is a pattern called Chandelier. I'll hold it up. It's called Chandelier, and it is a quilt that we are planning to teach a class on, so that people can learn this chandelier method. And this quilt came into us from 4 sisters who, every time one of their children gets married, they make a quilt together for that child as a gift. And I'm not going to share their name just in case the wedding people are watching and find out that their gift is here. But this is one of their family traditions that the 4 sisters get together. One of them does the pressing and lining up of things. One of them does the cutting. One of them does the sewing. The other one does the binding. So it's this really beautiful family project. And the chandelier quilt pattern, how those diamonds kind of drip down the quilt, is one that we're hoping to have a class on here soon. So perfect quilt of the week selection. Thank you for that redo. Bye, Papa. Good job, Papa. We'll get that folded back up. And then our last thing.
If you can mention these.
Oh, yes. So we have a drawing each week for people who pay with cash or check for a $10 gift card, and we'll draw that now. Belinda, you got the wheel of names almost ready?
I have it.
Wonderful. Cynthia P. Okay, so Cynthia P, you will have a gift card waiting here for you, $10 at Golden Anchor Quilting. Congratulations. And I can remember that. No, I can't. Oh, ouch! 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 If I can't remember, I can come back and look at the YouTube, right? I've got video evidence. It was the last one. All right, so we've got the, there we go. It's right there. Okay. So any questions or comments we should check in about?
Quilt designer Daniel Strout passed away this week.
Oh. I didn't know Daniel Strout, but it's always sad when the quilt community loses someone.
It is.
Yeah. Are we ready for Wheel of Names? So Wheel of Names is happening for our scrappy bound pot holder. If you were watching last week and the mysterious MB won our jewelry pouch raffle, MB did reach out and identify herself, and she said that she had found us from a posting somewhere, and that she had watched and enjoyed, but she didn't need us to spend the shipping to send that jewelry pouch to her. So she asked us to pass it along to someone in the community. So if you've been looking for a wonderful little jewelry pouch in your local, MB has passed that along. First come, first serve. Come pick that up. And this week, Ms. D. Corder has yet again, see, you get rewarded for being a top fan and watching all the time, people. That's what we're learning here.
She needs to change her name though.
So D. Corder, I will send you my scrappy bound pot holder. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Free way to support your small local quilt shop. We've got QR codes in the shop scattered around for our YouTube, for our Facebook. So if you're in and you can't remember how to get to it, we'll help you when you get there. We're going to figure out how to put links underneath all the videos. It's just one more thing on the to-do list, right? And we have finally found the phrase that really resonates with what we are. So we would love for you to come see us at Golden Anchor Quilting, where community is the fabric of our dreams. And that's the end of this week.
There you go.
That's what I was trying to get your